Oh, let me tell you something. Bustin' makes me feel good.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Blockbusting, the podcast where we love to hate the movies. I'm your host, Jay Light. Joining me today, Dustin, David.
Jay Light, hi, how are you?
Hi, great, Dustin. How are you?
Fantastic.
You got such a sultry radio voice.
Years of smoking.
Oh, yes. Yes, years of smoking will wreck those old vocal cords and make you sound so fuckable on the air.
Thank God.
Oh, thank God.
Thank you for smoking.
Thank you for smoking. That's a great movie, by the way. You ever seen Thank You for Smoking? I liked it.
Aaron Eckhart.
Yeah. Aaron Eckhart, Jason Reitman. I think David Koechner's in that movie. I lost my bottle of water. Is my bottle of water behind the computer, Max?
Yes, it is.
My man Max Goldman in the booth.
Yeah.
It is? Dustin sees it. Hello.
Blind. He
Boom.
did it.
We got it. Thank you for coming in. Very excited to have you on today. Talk some shit about these movies. Let's talk about the box office.
Let's do it.
All right. So, weekend box office, courtesy of Box Office Mojo. Maze Runner, #1. Jumanji and Showman hold strong. And Padmavat takes spot in top 10. So, #1, Maze Runner, The Death Cure.
I've not seen it.
I have not seen it. I haven't seen it. It's a franchise.
Is it?
It's a franchise about little boys who run through the maze and try not to die.
I feel like I'm caught up. I feel like I've seen it.
That sounds about right. I looked up. What's one of those like dystopian young adult novel adaptations?
Yeah. If I had to guess, it's an apocalyptic future where the only way to get food is to go through the maze.
Yep. Yeah, you could figure it out.
Welcome to Hunger Games and the Labyrinth.
Yes. See, you know what? I bet you Maze Runner probably would be good if they had David Bowie in there.
Yeah.
Get that old real true Labyrinth star in there.
Yeah.
Dude, sweet Jim Henson crossover.
If Jim Henson did that movie, I would see it 1,000 times.
How do you feel about these young adult post-apocalyptic adaptation things? I feel like the well's about to run dry on them.
I mean, I feel like it's hopefully doing a good job of getting children prepared for the apocalyptic future that they will eventually grow up in.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
They're like, oh yeah, this is like the movie we saw.
This is just like the Maze Runner. Shailene Woodley prepared us so well for this.
Yeah,
with that movie, whatever it is that she was in.
We saw kids' movies that were like cartoons. We're like, things are great, and they grow up and we're like, life is horrible. Now they're just like, get ready, life's horrible. Even as a child, get ready to kill your best friend for warmth.
I remember when Hunger Games came out, everybody started being interested in archery again.
Yeah. And
that is honestly a good skill to have in the post-apocalyptic landscape. Oh man, when Y2K 2.0, Y4K, when Y4K comes around and ruins everybody's guns and keeps them from working, bow and arrow, that's going to be the only way to survive. Bow and arrow and a machete.
I was a big fan of the samurai sword in the apocalyptic future.
Yeah, good old katana.
It's one of those things where I'm like, I need to learn how to use a samurai sword. Tomorrow seems like a good day for that. But I won't be ready. I won't have the skills that I need. It'll happen, and I'll be like, we should have been training the whole time.
Are you the kind of person who every once in a while you'll take like stock of the place that you live and assess whether or not you'd be ready for a zombie apocalypse? I've done that with pretty much every apartment I've ever lived in.
I'd be dead. I would make it. I don't have the things.
You wouldn't make it?
No.
I'm pretty shit out of luck myself, frankly. I have matches and lighters and aerosol cans. I could use that to make some makeshift flamethrowers, but that's not going to do me any good. My gun's in Texas. I have one gun and it's in Texas, and I'm in here in California in a basement.
I have a giant knife. It's
good.
Like a machete. It's great. I got it as a...
See, when we love machetes around here.
Home security system. It's just to keep it by my door, like in a sheath.
This apartment protected by a big old knife.
Yeah, it's better at threatening people rather than doing any good.
Yeah.
I think I opened a letter with it one time. It's not...
Now that's threatening.
Yeah.
#2 at the box office, Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle, $16.4 million. Now, I actually saw this week. Have you seen Jumanji yet?
Not yet.
All right. I say skip it.
Okay.
Everybody who I know who has seen it is all, even guests on this podcast have been like, oh, it's great. It's a fun time at the movies. It is not a fun time at the movies.
Yeah.
It is one of those movies. It is probably the closest I have come to walking out of a movie in a number, well, maybe not a number of years, because I almost walked out of a movie this summer. but in a while. Now I'm starting to get to the age where I'm like, okay, maybe I should walk out of movies and not waste my time. And I feel like I should have with Jumanji. It's so stock. It's so hacky.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I can just let it go and be like, it is what it is. I mean, I like the original so much, though. Like, that I'm trying to compare it to, like, any sort of, like, reboot that they do. It's just like, it's a completely, they're not trying to pick up where anyone left off and make, like, the original's so good.
The original's great. The original's an all-time classic. And I think that they were trying to make one of those kind of classics for the new generation. But look, you can put The Rock in any movie you want. You can put Kevin Hart in any movie you want. You can put The Rock and Chris and Kevin Hart in a movie together, and it's going to make a lot of money at the box office, but that doesn't mean it's going to be entertaining to watch. As much as I love watching those guys separately, and I'm a big old The Rock fan. I think he's charming as hell and super entertaining to watch. He saved the Fast and the Furious franchise for me. And saying that as someone who's only seen 2 movies in the Fast and Furious franchise. That's how much I wrote it off. But The Rock saved it.
Yeah, I saw the first one. I wish that I hadn't.
That was originally what we were going to talk about before your new movie that we hate, which we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
God, if I could go back in time and not watch that.
Man.
But then everybody was so obsessed with it in my school. They're like getting spoilers and stuff. I was like, dude, we're seniors in high school. We're driving Cumberland, Maine. Like, you don't need a spoiler.
I remember, I think, it's one of those things that like, okay, we're going to get a bunch of teens to go drag racing now.
Yeah, that was like the first movie I really hated before I even saw it. I was just like, this can't be good. And then I saw it and I was like, it's worse than
You're
I thought it would be.
right. Oh my God.
Well,
Number 3 at the box office, Hostels, a movie with a huge jump. It went from 23 to 3, $10.2 million. This is that movie. It looks pretty good. It's got Christian Bale. It's some kind of Western.
Yeah.
It's got some Native Americans in there, as far as I can tell. It seems pretty decent. I see a lot of posters for it.
I just found out today that Timothy Chalamet is in that.
Yeah, Timothy Chalamet's in that.
Crazy.
He did a great job. You see Call Me By Your Name?
Oh, loved it.
I loved Call Me By Your Name.
Yeah,
Call Me By Your Name's great. I think I would pick Timothy to win Best Actor for the Oscars, which we'll get to the Oscar nominations too. But goddamn, Timothy Chalamet is so good.
So great.
And he's in Hostels, and it's directed by a guy who's made some other good movies in the past.
He was in Lady Bird too.
Yeah.
What is he not doing?
Ah, man.
He's opening.
He's not being bad, is what he's doing.
Show. He's doing 5.
Number 4 is The Greatest Showman, $9.5 million.
Saw it.
You saw it?
Yeah.
Oh God, what did you think?
Yeah, I didn't like it. It was too much.
Why did you see it?
My boss. I work for a guy who's a comedy writer, older. He was very excited about it because he's big into musicals. It was like, oh, well, it was actually really funny. We because I do personal assistant work, so during the day we'll go out and do stuff. And we were at the Grove one day, and he goes, "Let's go." He calls everybody Love. He's like, "Love, let's go see a movie. We're here." And I was like, "Sounds great." And he goes, "Let's go see The Disaster Artist," which I thought was like a big surprise for him. I was like, "That seems pretty indie. Like, I didn't know he'd be like kind of hip to that." I was like, "Great." So we get the tickets and we sit down, and we're watching. About 10 minutes in, he goes, "Where's Hugh Jackman?" And I go, "No, this is a different one. This is not going to be not what you're looking for." So then the next Friday, then we went and saw The Greatest Showman, which he loved, but didn't.
Seems bad. Looks bad.
Didn't like it.
Looks like it's that kind of movie where all right, there's a couple musicals that still come out every year, and they're like hyper stylized, and they're Oscar baity, and I don't know. I just don't buy it anymore.
Yeah,
I don't buy it.
Yeah, it's just too much, too over the top, and it's too over the top for a circus movie. You know what I mean? Like,
how
can do it knowing what it was? And I was like, Jesus, like tone it down. Like right out of the gate, it's a song. And I'm like, And there's a scene where it's not a spoiler or anything. There's this woman, she's an opera singer, and she does this big like opera number, and it's very classy and fancy and a big thing. And I was like, you know what? This is where they could kind of reel it in and be like, here's a classic opera number to really showcase. And she does like a modern song,
Moulin Rouge style.
Yeah, it takes place in like the 40s or something.
God, what
are you doing?
Leave the song remakes to Baz Luhrmann, guys.
Yeah,
come on, Greatest Showman, you can do better.
I told him that, and he was like, "That was a bit much, love."
At least he admitted it.
He knew that too, but he loved it. I don't like it.
I think mostly he just probably loves Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, that might be a thing. He also was the one who took me to see Call Me by Your Name. He was very excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be great, coming of age story. He watches all the movies. So.
Mm-hmm. And Call Me by Your Name, great movie. Definitely better than The Greatest Showman.
Yeah, that was great.
Also better than number 5 on our list of the box office this week, The Post, $8.85 million.
Didn't see it.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah,
It looks like a movie that somebody pitched to be an HBO original movie in the like the Wizard of Lies Paterno kind of vein, you know, like super overtly political about a fucking newspaper.
Yeah.
And it's like a woman's in charge of the newspaper. This is very HBO. And then they're like, no, this is the time. Let's get Spielberg. Let's put this on. Let's put this in theaters.
I mean, we'll see. I feel like I get it.
You know how fucking boring The Post seems to me? It's the fact that they're using Helvetica
Yeah.
as the font for any kind of promotional. I'm a font nerd. Now you're learning, guys. But fucking Helvetica?
Yeah.
Come on.
I know. Well, the one thing without seeing it that I will have to say about the movie, I think it's awesome that Bob Odenkirk's in it.
I do. Yeah, I love Bob Odenkirk showing up in any kind of
anywhere.
Bob Odenkirk seems great, but Bob Odenkirk can't save a movie.
I know. But for me, it was like one of those, I was like, good for him.
Hey.
Yeah. Look, Tom Hanks and Bob Odenkirk.
Oh, he's going to be a little silly on a plane.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to say he's got government secrets.
Of course, I'd go into it wanting it to be like the comic relief, and he's playing like a serious role, and I'd be like,
Bobby. Come on. You got me down, Bobby.
I love Bob Odenkirk.
Number 6 at the box office this weekend, 12 Strong. A movie about the horse soldiers in Afghanistan. Oh, yeah. Get that good old propaganda in there, baby.
I didn't see it.
I don't want to see it.
Yeah. I feel like I get it.
My girlfriend saw it this weekend. She said that it was surprisingly heartfelt, which I don't think you should be surprised about a movie about horse soldiers being heartfelt at all. It's like it's America.
I get that.
Yeah, we get it. We're supposed to feel good about the country that we live in.
Yeah.
So why not watch a movie that's going to make you do that and make you support the troops?
Yeah, it's a lot. I mean, also a lot of the stuff like war movies and stuff like that are kind of like a lot for me to watch because my little brother was in the Air Force. He was in like Iraq. He spent some time there, and he came back and like he's good. But I remember every day that he was over there, I was like super freaked out about. Like I had no idea, you know what I mean? It's like your brother's in Iraq.
Yeah,
it was like a dangerous time, and anytime I see stuff like that, I'm like, oh my god.
Does that affect your ability to see movies about wars that are older wars than the modern wars? Because they're doing a lot of Iraq and Afghanistan based cinema these days.
Stuff like that is very much like, like just really brings me there. But older stuff I can use, like I saw Dunkirk. Like I don't think my brother is like eating beans out of a can under a boat.
I hope not.
No.
Yeah. Number 7, Den of Thieves. 50 Cent. 50 Cent is a cop or a bank robber. I don't know. I can't tell based on the trailers.
Probably both.
Maybe. You know what? That's probably the twist. He's a cop who's robbing the bank. But then guess what? He's a cop all along.
Ta-da.
Oh boy.
They're all cops and they're all robbers.
Oh no. What have we done?
Which, God bless 50 Cent. Oh, I read a thing about 50 Cent that he forgot that somebody paid him like 700 Bitcoin for something.
I saw that.
2004. And
now he made millions of dollars off of Bitcoin by accident.
Yeah, he's like, what?
He's like, oh, cool. Good job, 50 Cent. You're a cryptocurrency. You're a crypto expert now.
Yeah,
everybody's gonna
crypto millionaire.
I can't wait for him to start showing. He's gonna start showing up on CNBC. They're gonna be like, so what do you think about Ethereum? Do you think it's gonna hold its position? He's gonna be like, I don't know.
They're like, what's your hot inside tip? Do a show and have them pay you in Bitcoin.
Yes,
years ago.
Has 50 Cent released a new album lately? Or has he transitioned into acting and being a cryptocurrency expert? Because I think this is a nice career pivot for him.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of acting. I don't know musically. Somebody just put out like a diss against him or something on Twitter. I remember, I think it was like Ja Rule or something. Because a bunch of people were like, yo, what year is this?
Talk about relevant musical acts, guys.
It became relevant for like a minute where he was like, I feel like 50 Cent. And then everybody else was like, what?
Didn't Ja Rule create the Fire Festival, though?
He did. I think that's the last time we heard of him.
I think Ja Rule shouldn't be allowed to shit on anybody after that.
Yeah, they're like, what?
50 Cent is a modern icon.
Crypto millionaire.
He's a crypto millionaire. You don't shit on crypto millionaires.
Yeah, that's great.
Number 8 of the box office, another big jump, probably based on its Oscar nominations, which we will cover in a hot second, is The Shape of Water. Shape of Water, I've seen it. It's pretty good. I don't think it's mind-blowing. It's nowhere close to my best movie of the year. I think it's probably gonna. It's not what I would pick to win at the Oscars, but I expect that it probably will win.
I think it'll win some stuff. I loved it.
I think it'll. Yeah, I liked it a lot. I think it's a nice old Hollywood feel to it.
Yeah, soundtrack was great.
Yeah, the soundtrack is great. The cinematography is great. Richard Jenkins does a really great job.
Guillermo del Toro was awesome.
Yeah, Guillermo del Toro directed very well.
Dark, kind of like Tim Burton feel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome.
I dig it, and I'm glad that more people are seeing it. It's starting to break into some more wide release.
Yeah.
Number 9, Paddington 2. This is Max cheering over in the booth over this one. The only movie, what is it? I think the 4th movie in Rotten Tomatoes history to get a perfect rating. I still got to go see it. This is the movie that now I'm in a group on Facebook with people who have Movie Pass.
Yeah.
And they're all like Paddington 2, Paddington 2. And this is the same way. This is the same way they were about Jumanji.
Did you say it got a perfect rating?
It got 100. It's got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Serious?
100 points.
Unreal. I have not seen it yet.
I haven't seen it. I've seen nothing
Perfect
but people
rating.
talking about it. It's an adorable bear, I guess.
Yeah. Can't go wrong. Paddington.
I guess you can't.
It's also up there with like a bunch of really old-timey movies that are made between the 1920 and 1950.
Yeah?
Yeah, but in the top 100. All About Eve and The Cabin of Dr. Caligari
Wait. Is this on Rotten Tomatoes or on IMDb?
on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, my God.
I mean, it's got a phenomenal cast. Like, they're all old professional actors.
Mhm.
Can't go wrong there. It's
Yeah.
stellar.
And they're all playing them. They're all playing people, too. It's not like it's not like an animated movie where it's like they're providing the voices of other animals.
Yeah.
They're people.
It's like next to Citizen Kane and Call Me by Your Name.
Oh, my God. If Paddington 2 is as good as Citizen Kane, I can't wait for douchey film nerds to start bragging about that
Lying.
in their thesis papers. The final movie in the box office, this is our outlier this week, is Padmavat. I believe I pronounced it wrong earlier. I might have pronounced it wrong then too. But Padmavat is a movie only playing in 324 theaters. I'm trying to find some more info about it here on the website. It's a Bollywood movie. It opened in a bunch of IMAX locations. So, that's a good job. Good job, Bollywood.
I'm hearing about this movie for the first time just now.
Me too.
Yeah.
I should have figured out how to pronounce it a little bit better, maybe. But who
wondering
knows?
if there's like a Venn diagram crossover, whether these movies take Movie Pass.
Maybe. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna take a look into that this week.
Also, I heard Movie Pass dropped some AMC theaters.
It did. There's this whole big thing going on with Movie Pass right now, and if it weren't Oscar week, I would be covering this more in the news segment. But I imagine the story will continue to unfold. It seems like there's a lot of Movie Pass stuff going on that is kind of false flaggy because they were bought out by another company, and that company is the one that made a decision to drop it was the 10 most popular AMC theaters, and exactly, and it's all for the money. That's what I think. It's one of those deals where like AMC last year they were like, oh, we're not going to accept Movie Pass in the new year, and then Movie Pass was like, nah, fuck you guys. We're not going to accept you. You're done.
Yeah.
And I'm just glad that the AMC theaters around where I live still take Movie Pass.
I always just go to the Grove.
I go to the Grove and I go to the
Right
AMC
there.
on Sunset, the dine-in.
I went to
Delicious burger there.
it's good. I would like take a Sunday and be like, well, let's go see it. And I'd go in and see like whatever time it was, just be like, you. But I remember I went there, I think it was a Saturday at like 2, and I just got some lunch and I was walking around, and the Lego Ninjago movie was out, and I was like, I like Legos and ninjas. Let's see what this is about. And I go in and it's nearly sold out. And it is 100% children and myself. I was like, I've never felt creepier. Like I was like, you're an adult watching a Lego.
That's how I felt when I saw Toy Story 3 in theaters. I was the only adult in the theater who was not accompanied by a child.
There was like 6 seats, and I was like, cool, I'll sit in the seat. And then I sat there, and I was like, I'm cool, it's fine. And then this mother and her daughter came and like sat next to me, And the daughter looked over and she was like, Legos. And I was like, I like Legos. And I'm like, you should say nothing. You shouldn't talk to these. You don't know these people. What are you doing? And the mother was like, okay.
Hey, I'm going to sit between you and my daughter now. I don't want her talking to a man about Legos.
I'm like, candy? Sour Patch Kid? I have too many.
I'm going to talk to this man who smells like parliaments about children's toys.
So I was like, a cigarette. Get away from him.
So this week, obviously big week in movie world. Oscar nominations came out this week.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of big picks. We don't have a ton of time to cover everything. But are you paying attention to the Oscar nominations and stuff? Stay up to date on them?
Yeah, I printed them all out. I checked them out.
Cool. Is there anything, what would you say is your biggest surprise and biggest snub of these nominations?
Biggest surprise, I mean, I think for so many people, would be in the animated feature category.
Boss Baby?
A certain, no, it was Coco. I can't believe that was nominated. It wasn't very good. People like it. Of course, Boss Baby. Unbelievable. And I just, I saw that, and then I saw the reaction on Twitter, and I feel like, I was shocked, but I feel like I also went the other way quickly, where my heart just goes out to all like the hardworking people who spent so much time making Boss Baby and making it a movie, and they're like surprised, like, oh my god, we were nominated for an Oscar. How cool is that?
They are surprised.
And then to have everyone immediately shit on them.
Yeah.
And be like, this movie was shit. And like, I'm sure most people didn't see it, but to be like, oh, I was nominated for an Oscar. And then people would be like, your movie sucks. Like, immediately have all their hopes dashed.
I think the problem with Boss Baby is that it can be summed up by the posters. Oh, Alec Baldwin, he's a baby. It's going to be Glengarry Glenn Ross, and a Gymboree. This is
yeah. We see the baby. He sounds like Alec Baldwin. Have you seen enough? Like, do you need more?
Now I feel like I have to see the Boss Baby though.
I mean, it's an Oscar nominated.
It's an Oscar nominated movie. I saw here what I would have picked to put in the animated feature, and this is a movie I actually did see in theaters, is Lego Batman.
Yeah.
I think Lego Batman was a shoe-in for a nomination because the Lego movie got nominated.
Yeah.
And there were 2 Lego movies this year, and one of them was distinctly better than the other one.
Yeah, Lego Batman was great. It really, showed the struggle that doesn't really show. And a lot of Batman movies, like, about, his childhood and his family and stuff like that. Will Arnett was great. Great cast. Super funny.
Mm-hmm. I loved it.
I mean, I could go watch Boss Baby. It could be hilarious. It could be like the next, what's the one with all the animated characters in the brain?
Inside Out?
Yeah.
Inside Out.
Could be the next Inside Out. You could be watching it, and all of a sudden you're just weeping. You're like, oh my God, I'm the Boss Baby. It's happened to me.
Maybe we're all little Boss Baby.
Maybe we
are. Maybe we are all a little Boss Baby.
It's the struggle of powerlessness, and we're watching it, and it's happening. Like, I don't know. I feel like I have to watch it now.
Is there a big snub that you think was coming out of the Oscars for the nominations?
Well, it would have been Boss Baby, but
If it hadn't been, it got snubbed.
Let's never forget, we are all the Boss Baby.
Yeah, that's all of us. I just wish Paddington 2 would come out sooner. So
Yeah, see, would Paddington 2 have gotten a Best Picture nomination? I say probably.
Did they call it a BP, Best Picture? Should have gotten a BP.
Should have gotten a beep.
Should have gotten a beep.
I love these beep nominations.
Did Call Me by Your Name get nominated for Best Picture?
It did. Best Picture nominees are Call Me by Your Name, Darkest Hour, Dunkirk, Get Out, Lady Bird, Phantom Thread, which I also saw this week. Phantom Thread was really, really great. Very under the radar for me. I love Paul Thomas Anderson. He's probably my favorite working director.
And Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis, amazing acting. But Phantom Thread was one of those movies that I saw the trailer for, and I was like, I don't know what this movie's going to be like. And I saw it, and I was utterly blown away. It is a truly stunning movie.
Yeah.
Very visually interesting. The score is fantastic. I'm really happy that Johnny Greenwood got nominated for original score for this movie, because the score really, sort of in the same way that the Call Me by Your Name's music works, and Shape of Water's music works. Phantom Thread's score really does an amazing job of highlighting the characters and the story. I think it all works in concert very, very well.
Yeah.
The Post Shape of Water and Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which we talked about on last week's podcast.
Oh yeah,
Got to see it again. I got to see it again and see if it's
I still haven't
as bad
seen
as I'm afraid it is. Maybe we can watch it together.
I haven't seen it on a strong recommendation from Jake Weissman.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. I trust Jake. I believe Jake. I watched it and now I'm like, is this as bad as I think? Because I felt the same way. Look, I think I mentioned this last week. I saw Crash when it was up for Best Picture, and I was like, yeah. But I was also like 15.
Yeah.
And I was like, these people are saying the tough stuff, and I'm like, this is not the. And I would look back, I'm like, you guys are so. What were you thinking?
I feel like I really need to watch a movie before I have a reaction like Jake.
Yeah. See, that's what I gotta watch.
I just loved watching the whole thing unfold. Like, just watching him see it and then him just violently coming out against it, being like, this movie is a complete piece of garbage. And my friend kept trying to get me to see it. He's like, I hear good things, and it got nominated. And I'm like, no, hear me out. Like, my friend hates this movie.
Yeah.
Although I still haven't seen it, so I have not.
Well, and that's the thing
about it. But to listen to him go off last week on it was the fun for literally. Just...
And immediately after I recorded that episode, I went and hung out with some other friends of mine to watch the NFL games last week. Mm-hmm. And both of those, my friends who I was hanging out with, they were both like, oh yeah, Three Billboards is awful. One of my friends shut it off in the middle of the movie because he was like, this is a fucking mess. And now I want to watch. I'm like, all right, you and I have to watch the whole movie together now.
I am, curious in a way that, like, I'm curious to see The Room in its entirety at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just, is it? Yeah, oh my God. That was just the funniest thing.
Yeah. God.
Off on it.
He was so great. Speaking of The Room, this is my biggest surprise of the Oscar nominations is that good old James Franco did not get a nomination for Best Actor.
Jimmy Franks, yeah.
Now, I think that there's probably a direct correlation between his recent outing of his allegations of sexual misconduct and him not getting a nomination. But Gary Oldman got nominated, and he beat his wife with a telephone.
Oy.
So there's that. He said that everybody's got a little Mel Gibson in him after Mel Gibson went on his N-word rant back in the day.
Oh, Gary Oldman, take it easy.
Gary Oldman's probably going to win. I hope. I would love it to be anyone else in that category except for Denzel Washington. I don't think it's like Roman J. Israel Esquire again. He used Helvetica as your font.
You're like, that's the big problem I have with that movie. I don't want to see any movie that's basic enough to use Helvetica as their fucking big time font. I would just like to see Denzel win an Oscar. I didn't even see the movie, but I hope he wins.
He has won an Oscar. He already got one.
More. All of them. I think he's great.
I think it would be really cool if Daniel Day-Lewis he'd be locking up 4 Best Actors. But if Timothée Chalamet or Daniel Kaluuya got Best Actor, man, what a stunner.
Yeah.
I think that as far as surprises go, snubs, I think I also think that Logan getting an adapted screenplay nomination, big surprise. Good job, guys. Definitely a surprise. I think that I'm pretty surprised that I, Tonya was not nominated for Best Picture, given all the acclaim that it's getting. And I'm also really surprised that Luca Guadagnino did not get nominated for Best Director for Call Me By Your Name. That shocked me.
That's a bit of a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't Allison Janney and Margot Robbie get nominated for Best and then Supporting?
They both got nominated, and it was nominated for Screenplay, I believe. No, it wasn't nominated for Screenplay, so never mind.
Yeah.
They got the performances nominated. I still got to see I, Tonya.
Oh my God. I thought it was great. It was so funny.
I am very excited to see this Oscar ceremony wrap up. And you know what else? I just want to cover this briefly. The Razzie Award nominations also came out this week for the worst movie of 2018. Some of the best ones include Worst Picture, Baywatch, The Emoji Movie, which, how did that get nominated for Best Picture, Best Animated? And Boss Baby did. The Emoji Movie is a classic chronicle of the times. We are all the poop emoji. 50 Shades Darker.
Which we should actually check out.
The 50 Shades Darker?
I haven't seen.
Or Emoji Movie?
No, we should do the 50 Shades series here.
What we'll do, you know what? Whenever we do a live episode, we'll watch some of the movies that got nominated for Worst Picture, and we'll get a bunch of panel on there. See, I'm going to mark that down now whenever we finally make that happen. The Mummy. You know what I would have loved if the Razzies had nominated 3 Billboards for Worst Picture. That would have been a bold stamp. Because I think that may have happened sometime in Razzies history where a Best Picture nominee was also nominated for Worst Picture.
Yeah.
But man,
I saw The Mummy on a plane.
The new one, right? The bad one.
Tom Cruise. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it?
Not great.
It's one of those movies. I feel like, walking out of theaters, I would walk out of a plane if I had to see that movie.
If I had the option,
I had the chance.
Next time, I need to get the emergency seat. Just be hammering on it, please, God.
And Transformers 4: The Last Night. Wait a sec. Oh, Transformers 5: The Last Night.
We're at 5.
It was also called Transformers XVII, which is 17. They called it Transformers 17: The Last Night in the announcement for Worst Picture.
We'll get to that.
That one has the most nominations, by the way. It was nominated for Worst Picture, Worst Actor for Mark Wahlberg, Worst Supporting Actor for Josh Duhamel, Worst Supporting Actress for Laura Haddock, and Worst Director for Michael Bay.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Really sweep the Razzies there. And not going to lie, probably going to say it. I've seen all the Transformers movies.
Do you think the Transformers franchise is better than the Fast and the Furious franchise?
I mean, who's to say?
I'm asking you. You could say. Oh, sorry. I also forgot. It was also nominated for for worst screen combo for any combination of 2 humans, 2 robots, or 2 explosions on screen at the same time.
I mean, I like the Transformers because it's a big crazy movie. It's ridiculous. I'm not I know what I'm getting into. I'm mentally prepared to be like, this is not going to be some real serious acting. This is just going to be robots blowing things up, and it's going to be ridiculous. And I'm already prepared for the lines that are a guy fighting a fish. It's here's a fried fish sandwich. It's going to be terrible. I go into it knowing that. I like a big, ridiculous movie.
I think the big surprise here is that The Snowman did not get nominated for Worst Picture. Because even the director, we covered this earlier on the podcast, The Snowman's director was even yeah, this movie's garbage. This isn't the movie that I wanted to make. This isn't how it was supposed to turn out.
It ruined my vision.
What happened?
It's supposed to be for children. It's not, clearly.
Mr. Police, please arrest the Razzie makers for this. And Mother got nominated for Worst Director for Darren Aronofsky and Worst Actress for Jennifer Lawrence. And that was the one that a lot of people also had a big outcry out over on Twitter.
It got nominated for an Academy, right?
No, it got no love from the Academy.
Something.
It's nothing. 100% nothing. But
to get nominated for one of these, though. Maybe that
got
was a confusion.
2. Maybe. I would love to see. Yeah, and that's the thing. Everyone's like, Jennifer Lawrence is great in this movie, but I haven't seen Mother yet. I'm gonna watch it sometime soon. I have achieved access to a copy, so I will be watching it soon. Thank God. Let's talk about, and this is a movie that I think another movie that I think was snubbed at the Oscars. Particularly for Best Picture, but also for a couple other categories. Only got nominated for one, for Willem Dafoe in Supporting Actor. One of the best movies of the year, by my money. That is The Florida Project. Dustin, David, you hate The Florida Project.
Sucks. It sucked.
What do you got against the movie? What do you got against The Florida Project? Why do you hate it?
I just thought it was tedious. It's just so much. So into itself. They do the whole thing where it's a kid walking. Let's show the whole walk. Let's fucking be 10 minutes to go from here to the thing. And then it's still walk. There's less walking in Lord of the Rings. It's a lot of getting from one shitty place to a shitty place back to a shitty place.
It's full of shitty places.
and it's there's a lot of realism there, and I don't know a lot about acting. I'm sure the acting is great where they make it look real. I don't want to see a real thing when I go to the movie. I want to see velociraptors. I live in the real world.
You want to see robots?
Yeah, man. Just blow up a building or something. Wow, my God, that guy drove a car off of a ramp like that. And this is a lot of you have a cigarette? I get it. I've lived that. I've been to places where it's just there's a lot of hanging out. There's not a lot going on. I'm I could have seen this outside.
Yeah.
I could have just hung it downtown Burbank and seen the same thing.
God. All right, so Florida Project, for those of you who are not up to date, before we get more in depth with this crazy opinion that Dustin has brought to the podcast today.
So tedious.
Florida Project is a 2017 American drama film directed by Sean Baker, written by Sean Baker and Chris Burgach. It stars Willem Dafoe, Brooklyn Prince, Bria Vinate, Valerie Cotto, Christopher Rivera, and Caleb Landry Jones. Plot follows a 6-year-old girl living in a motel with her rebellious mother in Greater Orlando as they try to stay out of trouble and make ends meet. The title is derived from the early name for Walt Disney World, located near the setting of the film. So, you don't go to movies. You don't go to movies for realism.
Not a lot. I mean, and as time has gone on and I've like gotten a little bit older, like I'm open to like being moved by a movie that's going to change an opinion, where I'll see something and be like, my God, like that really connects with me. And it's so, that's a great thing that just happened. I feel like a different way or to feel any, but it was just very much like, I'm drunk. I'm going to hook out of a hotel. Like, okay, cool. Like, and you're following a child around, and I don't know if you've seen children, but they're so boring. My God, and they just are running around and playing with little kids. Like, it didn't remind me of like a wistful like time when I was young. Like, oh, that's a time I was. It's like a kid playing with a cigarette in a puddle.
Well, I mean, it didn't remind me of a wistful time that I was young either, but that's because I didn't live in a fucking motel with my drug addict hooker mom.
I mean, I didn't.
I didn't either.
I'm sure my mom's going to listen to this for the record.
Oh, man, we're learning so much about Dustin's childhood now.
Yeah, it was not like that, but I've been in those environments, and it's just like, I don't need to see it again. I just thought it took forever. Not a lot happened.
It is a little long. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I do think the movie is a little long. It could probably stand to lose maybe 10 minutes, maybe 20 minutes.
40. And how long is it?
It's 111 minutes long. I think if it was at night...
Movie could have been 11 minutes.
Yeah, what if it was a short? Would it be nominated for Best Short?
Would have been a great short.
All right.
It would have been a great short.
Would have loved it as a short.
But I think it does a really nice job as a feature length, too. And I'm going to... And here's what I'm going to do. This is an approach that I have not done quite as in depth, because I have seen this movie recently, and I really like this movie. So I'm going to talk about the parts that I liked, and I want you to talk about why you don't like those parts.
Okay.
Is it cool? Okay. So first of all, I think the best part about this movie, and I'm glad that it's getting recognition, is Willem Dafoe. Willem Dafoe's performance as the manager of the hotel is great. I think that he brings a lot of warmth to the role, but also a lot of hard-nosed kindness that you kind of have to have in that thing. He does sort of overtly and subtly play the father figure to pretty much everybody in the project. We're gonna call it a project because that's exactly what it is. It's
including his son.
It's a gypsy motel.
We think is his son.
Oh yeah, his son. Oh yeah, his son. But his son hates him.
Yeah, the only relationship he can't father is his own son.
Oh man. Oh god, you hit me right in the Oscar bait. Fuck, you hit me right between the eyes with that. He's a father to everybody, but he can't be a father to his own kid.
Yeah.
Fuck. Ah, that's kind of cloying. You're right. Oh no. But the scene, all right, and here's what made it for
Dad,
me.
I'm helping you move the fridge. I don't need the money.
I don't need this money.
All right, bye.
I need you, Dad.
There you go. Yeah. Wish you were around. Well, Mom says hi. All right, see you around. Like, so, oh my God.
The scene that makes it for me is, and it's spoilers. Fuck, if you don't like spoilers, stop. Just sorry, you can deal with them. The scene that makes it for me, for Willem Dafoe's performance in particular, is when he has to confront the pedophile dude who comes onto the property. What do you think about that scene? Is it too real?
It's, it seems pretty real. Like, you kind of like get the uneasy feeling that like, something's fucking wrong with this guy. And then it turns out, yeah. And, he scares him off and like keeps his wallet. But it was weird. Like, I feel like that's a kind of thing that like happens a lot, like in that environment, which is, I don't know. It's kind of like unsettling to watch the scene for him to like I don't know. I thought it was longer than it should have been.
The scene was?
Yeah.
It does go on for a very long time.
Yeah.
Because he does go through the whole rigmarole of like bringing him to the soda machine.
He kind of
and being
knows
like,
what's going on before.
You're thirsty.
He's finally like, get the fuck out of here.
You're thirsty, aren't you? You just said you wanted a drink.
Yeah.
You should take a drink.
Yeah, I feel like he'd be like, hi, you here? No, fucking leave. Instead of being like, gonna get you a drink. Do you need a room for the night, sir?
Do you want
How
to
post up here?
You want to get a room? Take some of these kids back?
Yeah.
Show them bubbles in the bath?
Yeah.
Oh,
Do you think
God.
the kids would like a soda? Like, get them out of there.
I think that, I mean, I can't disagree with you. I think it should have been a little shorter, but it's still I still like that scene a lot.
Much like the movie itself.
Oh, man. Here's one other thing I liked about this movie, and I think that Call Me By Your Name kind of does this too, is that it plays so close first person for a lot of the movie on the little girl. Mooney is her name, Brooklyn Prince.
Yeah.
It plays very close first person on her, which is obviously by design. That's what Sean Baker is trying to do, to make you sort of feel it more in her world and how she's perceiving everything.
Yeah.
Now, you are arguing, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're arguing that this directorial choice, only serves to highlight how fucking boring her life is.
Yeah. Like, we're there, dude. Okay, cool. You spit on a kid and then you ate a popsicle. We're done. That's 2 minutes. What else interesting ever happened in your life?
I mean, her mom.
Yeah.
The relationship with the mom's interesting.
Really, like, you know, her mom's like doing the best that she can. But then in the end, when she gets, you know, is supposed to go with this part, like, fucking, unless you want to get into that later, like,
No, let's get into it.
that fucking part where child services is like, okay, well, you're going to come with us for a little bit and we're going to take you to a different place and we're going to hang and she's going to explain it like to the kid and then she runs off.
Mm-hmm.
She outruns an adult man whose job it is to not let children run away. You have one job.
And then also runs into Disney World.
Just without
no
a
ticket, doesn't get stopped by insecurity, just scoots on in there.
And then it's like in the magical world of and then everything works out great because you're at Disney. And like, no, you probably got kidnapped at Disney. Like, there's weirdos that go there too.
You know, I don't read the.
He outran an adult man. Like, I'm in terrible shape. If I needed to catch a child, for sure. Like, especially if that was my job, to make sure a child doesn't run all the way to Disney.
You know, I don't read the end of the movie like that either, though. I don't read the end of the movie as like, oh, she's in Disney, everything's okay. No, everything is very much not okay.
Very much worse.
It's
But
a
you get
giant
that
fucking nightmare
1
for this
second
child.
of like, well, thank God we're here. We made it. Like,
Yeah, but nobody wants to cry in Disney World.
no.
If you're crying in Disney World and it's not because you're scared of a giant dog in a costume,
Right.
then you shouldn't be at Disney World.
Yeah. But I mean, come on. Have you ever, like, you know, say it's like your nephew or something, you're playing around and then you're like, I'm going to get you. And then you like fake chase them, but you're going super slow because you know that you could easily catch them.
Yeah, that's true.
Imagine if that child ran away.
I mean, she's powered on stolen ice cream and popsicles. You know, she got a lot of energy, a lot of sugar burst.
As jacked up as I've ever been as a child. I've never outrun a full adult.
Here's a thing that I would like to ask you about. So besides the you mentioned that you think that the mom is doing the best that she can, sort of character wise. Now, I think part of this movie is what made it work for me is that it's kind of her doing the best she can, but she's really not trying to do the best she can either.
At all. Or trying at all.
Yeah. So
It's not the triumph of the human spirit.
it's
like,
definitely.
well, drugs are great. Having a kid's okay, but you know what's better than having a kid? Drugs.
I think the thing about this movie that worked for me is because you're so close in on Mooney as a character, you don't see anytime that they're together, her mom fucking up as bad as she is.
Yeah.
And the only time that really breaks is when the John at one point comes into the bathroom while she's taking a bath.
Yeah, he's like, there's a fucking kid in here.
And as soon as as soon as they started doing those bath time sequences, and I was like, as soon as I started hearing music coming from the other room, I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, 'cause
she hooking.
Yeah, didn't it go like? I mean, even that there was like 4 or 5 different like bath sequences where she was in the bath for, I want to guess, a million years. I think that's how long each bath scene was. Roughly 100 million times past.
I've never lasted in long as bed as with a woman as those bath time scenes ever did.
Lunacy, absolute lunacy. Like, just the baths take forever, and there's 90 of them. It happens 90 times.
That's all the movie is bath time
45,000 baths, and then
Willem Dafoe's great as he's the shape of water in this movie. He's the bath. He's the
most
water.
of the movie takes place in a bath. William's the fish. It was just, I was like, can we not again? Really? And then he came in the last time, and I was like, you could have done it the first time. Or the second time, like, oh, Jesus, happened on a few times.
Yeah.
Kind of a red flag.
Yeah.
But I mean, Jesus Christ.
What about the mom's performance in this movie? What do you think about her? Because she got a lot of notoriety initially when this movie was getting released, and critical acclaim was being levied at it for the fact that she put on the performance that she did with no acting training. Like, Sean Baker found her on Instagram. She's like a pop model on Instagram, and everybody's like, oh, she's amazing. What do you think about that? What do you think about her performance?
You don't think she was good? And again, like, I think it would have been good as a short, to have her drag out every scene. I'm selling perfume again. Yeah, we get it, love. Just wrap it up.
Did you? I have a question. Did you see the trailer, or did you just go right into the movie?
Went in completely naked. No idea what I was seeing. A friend of mine was like, heard good things about this movie. Also, again, same friend, very excited to see 3 Billboards, so we're a little on the fence about it. But he was like, let's go see this movie. And I was like, it's a Friday night. We go see a lot of movies together. He's great, and I trust his judgment on most things. So I was like, yeah, let's go. It'll be fun. And I'm sitting there, no idea what I'm going into. And it was just the longest movie I've ever seen in my adult life.
It's pretty long. It is. I mean, I can't argue with the fact that it's too long.
It seemed so much longer.
It is a little bit too long.
Nothing is happening.
I was pretty captivated, but I was like, I usually can tell, like, there are some movies that I never feel like I need to check my watch during. Like Dunkirk, I didn't feel like I needed to check my watch. Shape of Water, I didn't feel like I needed to check my watch. But this movie, I was getting to a part where I was like, where's it gonna happen?
I like how that makes a difference. Like, you're gonna check your watch, like, the end time.
Well, I know how long.
Ballpark.
Yeah.
I mean, I can gauge how long a movie is.
I never do that. Never check my watch. And I checked my watch probably 4 or 5 times during the and I was like, oh my God, 10 minutes have passed. They went and got an ice cream, and they fucking went back to get another ice cream.
They did get so many ice creams. They got so much ice cream.
Let's get the ice cream, buy it to change, and then let's go get a friend, and my friend gets an ice cream. It's like, come on, man, you just did this.
Oh man, all right. I
show walking back past every fucking wizard store on the way to and from the ice cream 4 times.
There's one part of the movie that I do want to know what you think about, because I think I have an idea of what you're going to think about it, but I just want to hear it come out of your mouth. The part of the movie where the children go to an old development and set a bunch of houses on fire.
It was exciting. It was great. Something happened. Something finally happened. I was like, oh, cool. They don't need to be wrapped up around this drama about the fire, and oh my God, maybe one of the kids is gonna die. Like,
see, that's kind of where I thought the movie was gonna be.
Yeah,
I thought that's what the dramatic conceit of the movie was gonna be like. Oh, it's all these children, and then all of a sudden they set a fucking neighborhood on fire.
That could have been the twist for me. I was like, I'm not invested in this movie at all whatsoever. I was like, I swear to God, if they kill this little girl, I will lay the whole fucking block down.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to lose my mind if she does. And then they came back and they're like, nothing happened.
Because say what you will,
then nothing happened.
You do care. Yeah,
45 more minutes.
I couldn't help
The fire was
myself
exciting.
and not care about the outcome of what was going to happen to Mooney as a character, because I was like, gosh, she's what is she, 7 or 8 in the movie,
Yeah,
maybe
when DHS
6.
finally showed up, I was like, thank God.
Yeah, me
She's
too.
Getting in somewhere good, and she's run away, and now she'll die at Disney.
She's going to find a home on the It's a Small World
she'll
ride.
Drown. She'll jump off the ride and drown because her mom never taught her to swim.
There are some parts of this movie, and the one part of this movie that I do think Oh, God, it's weird to talk about a movie that I liked and bring up critical parts, but I guess that's what you're supposed to do as a a person. You're allowed to not like some parts of things that you like. I think that the part where the ex-friend who who worked at the Pancake House and they fed him all the time, when the mom beat the shit out of her. That I was like, okay, I get that this is probably the reason that you need to call DHS, but there's so many other reasons that you can call the child services before that.
Why are you giving there's no reason for her to have a child?
Especially
there's zero reasons.
Especially if everybody's already like, oh yeah, we know that you're hooking in your apartment.
Yeah. No. Don't just think that she's hooking. Let's not forget that she's flipping
flipping bracelets and perfume
illegally. Yeah, stealing bracelet. Everything she's doing is illegal. Nothing she's doing is on the books.
Yeah. Well,
smoking weed with a child in the room, everything.
So would you say that the biggest thing that hampered this movie is its runtime? Is that it's just too long, too much?
Yeah, it was just so tedious for so long. It was just, and if I was, let's say, 14 or 15 again, and this movie came on IFC, that's where I used to watch all the old indie movies on the IFC channel. If that movie was on there, I'd be like, I'm so watching a good movie right now. I bet this movie's great, and just would have no idea. But I just feel like I don't have the patience for it anymore. Back then, just to watch it and be like, it was probably pretty serious. It took forever, so I'm thinking it was a great movie. Was it well shot? As far as I know.
It was really well shot, though. What? Get out of here with that. It was beautifully shot.
That's just, what's this? It's a cigarette butt and a shoe next to a trash bin.
But it's so brightly colored and then so bleak on the inside. Everything's so bleak. This isn't some American Beauty bullshit where a bag is flying around. They're like, that's art. That's a bag. No, this is grandiose.
Well, to take the other side of the argument, things that I like, her punching the girl in the face, great.
Because it's action-packed.
Child almost being taken away by DHS.
Well, let's not say things that you like, because you need to know it's parts where there's action-packed shit going on.
Yeah, anything is happening.
So if there was any other places that you think there could have been action to thrown into this movie to not make it feel such a lengthy drag, what would you have liked to see? Would you like to see Willem Dafoe mash the pedophile's head in through the fucking vending machine?
Him murdering the pedophile behind the hotel would be great.
Yeah, it would. Can't argue with that.
I think the beginning could use a little bit more action. I think they could use a little more action in the middle and some action at the end, maybe too. I think any of those places could use some things going on.
Maybe some robots.
Yeah, focusing on the fire. A blooper reel. Always hilarious. We love those.
What happened to blooper reels? Blooper reels used to be in every credits sequence.
A lot of them still exist on YouTube. You can find a lot of blooper from things that you've seen and you have no idea.
They need the credits with the actors and their moms talking about how they were as kids.
Yep, just like in Bad Moms.
Yeah,
man.
Just like Bad Moms or Bad Moms Christmas.
Oh, probably both.
Did you see Bad Moms Christmas?
I did not see Bad Moms Christmas. Did you?
Yeah.
Is it better than Florida Project?
Should it have also been a short?
Only by about 1,000 times. I don't even remember when it was. It was a Thursday. I was hanging out at the Grove. I had the movie pass, and I was like, "We're here. When are we going to be here again?" Seen everything else. We dipped in.
You know what I just realized about Florida Project? It's just artsy bad moms. It's just artsy bad moms. That's all it is.
Florida Project 2. Worse moms.
Worse moms. Terrible moms.
Oh my god.
Is there anything else you think that this movie could have changed to make it more to your liking?
A lot shorter. Just so much shorter.
Shorter and more action. I mean,
maybe I could watch the movie in 4 minutes. I think that would be a peak.
Double the trailer length, and then we're good to go.
There's a kid doing something tedious. We're there. Fire. That's exciting. William Dafoe killed a guy. He was pretty serious. And then Oh, daughter runs away. Disney. Oh, not cool that she got away. And then like mom hooking, but about 4 minutes.
Yeah, man,
Could've
I
been
can't. I
all-
mean, I can't argue with you there. It's a little long,
It's a bit.
but I do think it's a very good movie, and we're gonna have to agree to disagree here.
That's what we do.
That's what we do here. Dustin, thanks so much for coming on today, buddy.
Oh, Jay, thank you so much for having me.
Glad to have you.
Always.
I would like to ask you. This is the most awkward way I've ever phrased this question. I would like to ask you to talk about your social media. Where can our listeners find your work?
My work is I put all my shows and videos and stuff. I actually released my comedy special on my website,
Great.
which is DustinDavidComedy.com. On Instagram, it's DustinDavid_, and on Twitter, it's at DustinDavid. Do I have to like plug shows or something?
If you want to.
How this works.
It's up to you.
I am headlining Cadillac Sundays next Sunday, February 4th, 8 p.m. in the Belly Room here at the Comedy Store.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, and I'm very excited to open for Melanie February 17th. But the show sold out. I just want to give a shout out to Melanie. 'Cause
Melanie's
she's
great,
amazing.
and one of our favorite guests we've had on this podcast too.
She's so great. Love Melanie.
You can catch me at Diet J on Twitter and Instagram, jlightcomedy.com for show dates. And I think I don't have anything coming up super big this week. Let me look at my calendar here. Yeah, should be a pretty relatively normal week. I'll be performing tonight, the night this episode drops at Mickey's in WeHo at 7 p.m., at Potluck at the Comedy Store at 8 p.m., and some other stuff coming up. And that's about it. Thank you to the Comedy Store for being a great studio as always, and shout out, they're sponsoring us again for that sweet merch. Go buy some Comedy Store t-shirts, guys. ComedyStore.com. There's a merch page. You can click the link. All kinds of cool shirts there. They're all very high quality. They're what we wear as employees, and I would recommend, if you want a piece of the Comedy Store, go online and go buy some there. And thank you to my man in the booth, Max Goldman.
Thanks. Bravo.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you, guys. This has been another episode of Blockbusting. Guys, go see something good for a change.